Hello, everybody. This is Sri from BizBuzz. What matters the most in your business? Back with the new episode today, and I have guest Craig Andrews. Craig Andrews is the principal ally at alliesforme.com, who is a marketing expert, not just simply a marketing expert. He is a very entrepreneurial spirit, business owner, and a lot of experience in business concepts. So that's why we are having Craig is keep coming back, and we are talking a lot of different contents. If you are following our episodes, I'm sure you might have heard Craig talking. Craig, how are you doing?
Shri, I'm doing wonderfully. It's good to be here again.
Excellent. Thank you very much. How is weather out there in Texas today?
We are getting much needed rain. It doesn't rain much in Texas, and when it does, everybody's happy.
It's all right. Well, it sounds like my hometown back in India. That's where I am from. I place that I came from India is a drought land. I, they
Yeah.
fight for a drop of water over there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of the lakes are still down. They're up higher than where they were this time last year, but they're still way down from where they need to be.
Mostly. Yeah. No. Good to know that you're having rain and everybody is happy out there. The happy is better, right? So the
Yeah.
whole society is happy that makes everything is more beautiful and green. Now today I would like to talk to you about the content that is generating the leads. We all know what is the importance of the content in marketing, and we all know we have ironic. But is there any formula that we can apply and be a position that I am doing the right thing or I am going in the right direction, at least in the marketing standpoint? It's not necessarily the business owners or marketing gurus. They generally depend on marketing firms to help them on marketing. But at the same time, a small business owner always struggles as like any other companies. How do I evaluate this person is going to be a good part of my marketing team? They can ask a few questions and with their awareness. So for some cases, the small business owners they also run their own marketing department as well, and if they're comfortable to do it, like in case I am responsible for marketing, although I'm not really good at it, but that's where we see this point. That like me, there are many. So my question here is for all these business owners who are producing marketing content or responsible for marketing, how do you give them a simple formula to create a marketing that generates the leads? Is there
Yeah.
any specific ingredients to it?
Well, the central ingredient is it has to serve the needs of your target customers. And let me go back, 125 years to a content marketing plan that a lot of people have heard of. So here in Austin, Texas, we have three restaurants that have received Michelin stars, and of course, that's a not we have more than three restaurants, but three barbecue restaurants are now giving Michelin stars to barbecue restaurants.
Not
And
common.
it's I'm wondering if they're adjusting for the times. And the the thing that nobody asks is why does a tire company rate restaurants? And this goes all the way back to 1900.
Michelin, yes, Michelin star.
Yeah, this goes all the way back to 1900. The Michelin brothers were trying to figure out a way to sell more tires.
Yeah.
And so they came up with this idea. At the time, the people who owned cars had people that drove the cars for them. They were very wealthy. They had chauffeurs.
Yeah.
And the Michelin brothers came up with this idea, and it's a genius idea. Obviously, it's lasted 125 years.
Hmm.
They said, we're going to go out to the countryside, to the French countryside, and we're going to rate restaurants and inns, and we're going to put them in a guide, and then we're going to give the guide away for free to chauffeurs.
Hmm.
Okay. The value in it for the chauffeur, and this is a really important point. Everybody, especially when they're thinking in B2B, business to business marketing, they think, well, it's all about the needs of the business. Well, the Michelin guide was given to the chauffeurs because the chauffeurs were looking for ways to be more valuable to their boss so that they could get promoted or that they would
Uh-huh.
be rewarded or they would stay on. And the Michelin brothers went to him and said, hey, we have this guide where you can make recommendations to your boss and say, hey, I know this great inn in Deauville,
Yeah.
and there's some great restaurants there. Would you like to go there this weekend? And so they would go up there and they could go with the assurance that they were taking their boss to some of the best inns and some of the best restaurants in the French countryside. Well, while they're driving out, they're wearing down the tires of the car. When they're driving back, they're wearing down the tires of the car. And what's the name that's in front of them? It's Michelin.
Michelin.
And so Michelin has built one of the biggest tire brands in the world. And a central part of their strategy was giving away this piece of content marketing that had nothing to do about cars or nothing to do about tires, but it was helpful to the people who bought tires. And so I would say
Great
the,
idea.
yeah, I would say the first thing that when you're generating content is you have to understand what motivates your buyer. And and it may not be work. You can have content that generally relates directly to what they're doing, which is much of what we usually the content that we're doing. But you have to remember they have a deeper motivation, and they usually have a big problem that they're trying to solve in their life. The best content marketing solves that problem. It helps them solve that problem. And so the and so if we were to break it down to a formula, there's certain ingredients. One, it has to be super specific. It can't be your IT guide to solving all of your problems at a management level. That's just too broad.
Super. It's
So, and once you want to promise one big thing, everybody wants a magic pill or a silver bullet. And so, if we use the context of IT, it would be um, how to, one big thing, how to slash your email hosting, budget by 50% or something like that. It has to promise a quick win, so it can't be, hey, we're going to just educate you and then hope you fill out the dot of connect the dots. Has to solve a problem. It has to solve a problem. That's the thing that's going to get them motivated. So if we go back to the Michelin guide, the problem it solves for the chauffeurs is they're looking for ways to add value to their boss so their boss would be happy with them. Has to be instantly accessible. It's not, hey, we're going to work on this guide and we'll get it back to you in 6 months. No, no, no. It has to be instantly accessible and it has to be high value um, and quick to digest. So if you remember, there was a period of time when everybody was publishing ebooks. Do you remember that?
correct. That's correct.
How many ebooks have you seen offered recently?
Recently, no, none.
Yeah, it's and
They're all gone.
there's a reason for that. So think about it. When somebody gives you a book, so I have a stack of books. Somebody thought I needed some books, so they sent me 3 books. And for me specifically, uh, it's hard to get on my I have very, very specific criteria, but most people aren't, their biggest problem isn't that they don't have enough books to read. Their biggest problem is they don't have time to read the books that they have. And the And so when you offer an ebook, that's not quick to digest. You want this to be something that's just really, really quick. The next thing is you want to demonstrate your expertise or secret sauce. And this is where this is a little bit different than the Michelin Guide because Michelin Guide was about restaurants and inns when they're trying to sell tires. So that's not really that was kind of disconnected from that. But the um, the great pieces of content demonstrate your secret sauce. And actually, I wrote about that I think this morning. The challenges of content marketing. It used to be, hey, here's this checklist of how to do these 5 things. You could put that on the web, people would download it and digest it. Well, the internet's changed a lot. People
It,
people
it did.
have
It did.
published a lot of things,
A lot
and
of
I
things like that.
and I think as people start using ChatGPT or Microsoft or Bing has their Copilot thing that's just absolutely amazing. What people are missing out if they're not using Copilot, they're really missing out. But it can do a lot of research there, and it's just scraping content that's on the web and helping you answer questions. Well, this is now having demonstrating your secret sauce is even more important because if your advice is just what can be found broadly on the internet, they have no reason to download it. And as I think people adopt AI in their daily habits more, um, I think pieces of content that worked 5 years ago won't
Mhm.
work.
Right.
And and so for us, the last thing that we look for is when we're working with high ticket clients for ourselves or we're helping our clients with their high ticket offers, we always offer a first time offer, which is a front end low ticket offer that leads to your high ticket offer. Well, you want your content to naturally lead to that. I want to be clear. I'm not saying it's sales literature. You don't want to turn these things into sales literature. People hate being sold. They love being
Yes.
helped. They hate being sold. But your content should naturally lead to the next step of engagement with you. And for us and our clients, that's usually a first time offer.
Your content doesn't lead them to the next thing. You're you're basically doing a disservice. You're dropping them in the middle, and the reader don't know where to go from there,
Yep.
right? So it's in a way that when somebody's making a content, it has, but at the same time, it can be see old concept. At least 5 years ago, even before that, you cannot produce any marketing material without a call to action. It has to be a big bold number or it's a big bold button or something like that. You have a call to action. Call to action has been the mantra for marketing for a while. And then now that call to action is changed. More of educational material going and softly infusing your brand, your name into the mind of the target audience.
Yeah.
How is that changed? What is it? What has happened? What is it changed that triggered?
Well, and that's such a brilliant question you're asking. This gets into kind of a deeper level of marketing where you want people to start picturing themselves taking the action. And the and so as a matter of fact, I'm working on something right now, and it's a offer that and it's funny. This is an offer where I'm trying to do market research, and I'm just asking for people's time. But I recognize the people that I work with, their time is valuable, and so I have to offer something in exchange. Well, as I'm putting this together, I'm basically making an offer. Hey, if you give me half hour of your time, I'll give you these things in return. The last element of the offer is, and this is going to sound a little bit confusing at first, but I'll make it simple very, very quickly. The final deliverables should be a solution to a problem that's uniquely created by the successful delivery of the preceding deliverables. That's the confusing version. The simple version would be an example. If I sold boats for a living and somebody came onto my boatyard and they said, Craig, I want to buy a boat, I would say, great, we're going to find the perfect boat for you. But once you buy the boat, you're going to have a new problem. The truth is, they're going to have a lot of new problems, but we're going to talk about the fun one. So you're going to have a new problem. You're going to need a place to dock your boat.
Both.
Well, guess what? We know all the marinas and all the yacht clubs in the area. We have relationships with them. We know their prices. We'll help you find the perfect place for you. As a matter of fact, we will even deliver your boat to your slip. So all you have to do is have your grab your family, grab your picnic basket and your cooler, get on your boat and have a fantastic day. Okay, what I've done is I've shifted their mindset from pre-purchase to post-purchase.
Yes.
Okay, that's sort of an embedded call to action. If they like that picture that I painted, and if you think about it, as I was saying that, you were probably picturing somebody walking out on the dock, getting on a boat.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
And that's where I've succeeded is I have you fantasizing about this day on the boat. And now
Yes.
you know your path to getting there is through me. And
Naturally flows. And tomorrow I'm going to be not only picking up boat from you, but I'm also going to be talking about you with my friends.
yeah, yeah. So that would be more of an embedded call to action where you're getting the emotion in their head. They're like, I want
Right,
that.
right,
I
right,
like
right.
that vision.
That's impressive. Great. Thank you very much. That is a very, very impressive concept and brilliant concept for that matter. Excellent. So thank you very much for sharing us today on what are the ingredients in creating a content that will produce the leads that we needed. And I also appreciate the fact of giving me a cherry on the cake, how to embed the call to action subtle through the content or through the dialogue that you are having with your prospects.
Yeah.
It's always pleasure to have you, and I always learn from you. Thank you very much. And for those who are listening, please, this episode is being sponsored by My Work Belt. My Work Belt is a software, or in other words, a business operating system for service-based small businesses. If you are one of those, please check it out on www.myworkbelt.com. Myworkbelt.com. Thank you very much. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the podcast and press a button, ring a bell on the ring so you will get an alert. Thank you very much for being with us. Great. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Shri.